Hey, what's going on, everyone? Tyler Boronski. You're watching my YouTube channel where I'm sitting down with recognizable faces in entertainment and the digital space. I mean, I don't really need to introduce this guy. I know y'all follow him already on NBA Twitter, but he's Josiah Johnson, host of the Outta show. I mean, he played at UCLA. He's a traditional writer for Comedy Central, Netflix. I mean, he's kind of done it all. So, Josiah, appreciate you, bro, for joining the YouTube channel today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you got it. Now that you got the hype on Twitter, I mean, you got people like LeBron James looking at your tweets, all that. Do you think about more now before you send out a tweet? Like, man, is this funny? Like, you overthink this at this point now?
I used to be able to operate in the shadows and kind of get these jokes off without having to worry about really any repercussions or consequences. But now when I got guys like LeBron and KD and Steph and all these other guys in the league following me, I have to definitely, taper the jokes a little bit and lower them down and make them more. And actually, that's a good thing. So I, try and just find the humor and the comedy and things now, as opposed to trying to go at guys and kind of doing the trolling and slander type stuff. But obviously, when the time calls for it, the slander will be dished out when necessary.
I guess once they start following you, you can't really go that route anymore.
I just got to plan them out. If I'm going to slander somebody like KD, who obviously loves jumping on Twitter and getting in people's faces and talking trash back, I got to be strategic and smart with it and make sure that I don't get roasted or ratioed or anything like that.
Yeah, I just saw the one you put out too, like a minute ago. I saw the interview you just did with Kenny Beecham recently. You kind of said that it's like a science almost, social media or this like meme game. So what makes a viral meme?
Really, it's just about strategy, being timely, being topical, being trendy, being nostalgic, really relating to as many possible people. When you're dropping clips and stuff, they can't really be obscure or things that people haven't seen or recognized. They can if they're funny, and they can come into now the zeitgeist and everybody's going to laugh at them and kind of move forward with it. But for the most part, just trying to really play on nostalgia, play on those moments that we've all seen throughout various points of our life that we can all relate to, that we can all laugh about. And, being timely. So when you're watching a game and something happens and you can relate it to something that happened in pop culture, those are generally the best times. Obviously, times like now with the Eastern Conference Finals and Western Conference Finals, where there's tons of eyeballs on these games, millions and millions of people watching the same thing at the same time. When you can come with something that they can all relate to and rally behind and think that's funny, then that's the recipe for the best success. But ultimately, I tell a lot of people that try to get in this game, you really just got to live. You got to have experiences. You got to consume as much content, good stuff, bad stuff, great stuff, terrible stuff, everything in between. So you just have an arsenal and a library in your head. And what I've been really effective at is just having a super photographic memory. So as soon as I see something, I can correlate it to something in pop culture that I've seen and try and get the tweet out. Because nowadays there's so many people, I feel like I've inspired a lot of people to jump into this game, but ultimately now that numbers increase so much that I got to worry about being quicker to market, because now everybody is thinking a lot of the same stuff some of the time. So really just about being quick on the draw, kind of, fastest draw in the West is what I like to call myself, and really just being timely and topical and dropping stuff that, again, like I said, is relatable, funny, and that people can, as soon as they see it, they know exactly where it's from and they laugh. And even if they have friends who haven't seen it, those friends now are asking them, what's this from? And I find a lot of that. I do a lot of basically free promo for a lot of different content that I put out, and people end up watching these things. And that's the whole thing. You want people to enjoy these moments and these experiences.
I know you probably can't fully share because it's almost like a magician, not revealing his magic trick. But with what you can share, how do you find your meme pictures, videos that you use?
I know where to look.
There you go.
Can't give away too much. If you have a bag for me, I'll gladly give you the recipe. But at the end of the day, I'm just on social media a lot. I'm constantly consuming media, looking at clips. I mean, the main thing I will share is that I DM myself. I see something like a video or photo, whatever it may be, I'll DM myself, so I'll just remember it, or I'll keep it in the the camera roll. So I'll just kind of scroll through there sometimes just to refresh, because there's so much different stuff going on at any given moment that it's really about finding that ideal clip that relates to that moment perfectly. Like the KD one I just dropped today, obviously, every time KD pulls up to Twitter, he's reminiscent of Omar from The Wire. Like, everybody scatters and nobody wants to be in his crosshairs, because if KD comes for you, it's going to be a bad day for you.
If I'm watching a game with you, what do you like during these games? Are you pretty chilled, or are you kind of have the phone out, like finger ready to go to press the trigger? Like, what do you like during these games and you're watching it, but it's content you're thinking about as well?
Well, I'm old and washed, so really watching the game with me, I got like my kids running around, my wife, my family. But phone, I do a terrible job of keeping my phone charged. So usually the phone's connected to the charger, which is like 10 feet away. So I'll run up if I got to tweet something and grab it. But yeah, just monitoring what's going on. Really, I love the platform Twitter and NBA Twitter especially, because now it's just a thriving community of people from all across the country. Every team has their representatives, but you know who the faces are for each of these individual teams and who are the big names in national NBA Twitter and all that type of stuff. So just seeing the friendship and the camaraderie and the bonding, and a lot of I go at everybody. I'm a LeBron James fan, but if the Lakers lose and LeBron loses, I got to slander and clown them. But I think people kind of have a respect for that. They know I'm going to come for their team when the moment calls for it. But at the end of the day, I want to see all these guys healthy, playing hard, and ultimately, I got a ton of respect for fans of every NBA team.
We talked about some of the big dogs that follow you. LeBron, KD, they see your work. Who are some NBA players that have kind of been riding with you for a long time now that have been showing you the most love for a period?
Really, honestly, KD on the low gives me a lot of love, man, and he's a great dude. And I had a not to say a negative viewpoint of KD, but I'm a LeBron fan. So when he went to the Warriors, my spirit was broken just watching him just demoralize LeBron for those years. But man, it's so many guys now. It's just really expanded, and it's just really cool to see. Like, I've got a really great relationship with Rayford Young, who's Trae Young's dad, who, for my money, is probably representative of what you want to see from a father of an NBA player. But just a great dude, funny dude. So just seeing the way that everybody kind of banded together, and now it's almost better than watching the game. It's kind of a lot of pressure they put on me, because it's like every night it's all right, what are you gonna tweet? It's like I'm a rhythm tweeter. I'm more I tweet in the moment. So when things happen, I respond to that. I don't just throw stuff out there to throw it out there. I'm very strategic with it. But when you have good games and moments and things, and Trae starts shimmying or whatever it may be, I really love those moments, because it's like it's gonna be a free for all. And right when you see those things happen, everybody's gonna be on Twitter talking about it. So it's really who's got the best meme or best joke or best take or best analysis of whatever the situation is.
Yeah, man. I like that. That was a good example too, because I like the one you put of Trae trying to teach Herder how to shimmy, and then Herder gave you that retweet after that. So that's pretty dope. Who are some, now that you think about it, recent memeable like NBA players? The guys that there's something about them that's I don't know, kind of funny that provides good content gold.
I mean, you got Giannis at the free throw line. Obviously, Ben Simmons kind of doing things he was going on. Thanasis, Giannis' brother, is super legendary because he's just so pumped up. And, you love to see it. Obviously, if my brother was a two-time MVP and I'm on the squad, I'm going to be cheering my heart out for him, and I'm going to be his biggest fan out there on the court. But Trae has obviously provided a lot of great memeable moments recently. Devin Booker, CP3. There's just so much stuff. Pat Bev is kind of usually a great watering hole for content, but it really changes from night to night. Herder obviously had that great Game 7 against the Nets, and now he moves to the forefront. People are getting rickrolled and all that good stuff. But it's amazing to me to see from a night-to-night basis just who are the winners and who are the losers, because I know those guys go home, and it's like that Herder thing. I know he was probably in the locker room and somebody on the team or somebody showed him that, and then, he responded to it. So it's really cool to see that these guys are really embracing NBA Twitter culture and also participating in it.
I thought you were going to go a different route. I thought you were going to go like the Carusos of the world.
Caruso's always. I mean, Caruso is a staple. I was thinking more guys that were still in the playoffs, but obviously, Caruso, unfairly gets detained for having, marijuana, which everybody knows should be legalized across the country. And I'll put up a tweet, and then LeBron's engaging with that tweet. And it's like, Brian, you probably shouldn't be, just because of the sensitive nature of it.
I'm gonna get you out of here. I promise you, I'm gonna get you out of there. You don't belong in there.
But just to see how not of a big of a deal it was, and nobody was trying to make it that, but everybody knows Caruso's a great guy, and I have a ton of respect for him, even for what he was doing in the bubble with the Black Lives Matter jersey and just everything he's done for the cause and the struggle. I tell him he got honorary light-skinned status. So that's a dude, guys, I try to veer away from now being negative with it. It's more just, if news happens, I react to it, but I try to react to it in a humorous or satirical way.
Yeah, man. That was a wild night, by the way, too. You got the Caruso news. You got in the MLB world. I know you're more NBA, but MLB world, there's like the players getting checked and like stripping down like mid-game. Yeah. Like that was a wild night in sports, man, that day.
I mean, the funny thing about Twitter especially is like there'll be some days I'm like, yo, it's super slow, nothing's going on. Then like 10 stories will drop. Like, you get that, the MLB, everything going on within the course of a day, and it's just like you get bombarded with all this news and information. Coaches getting hired, fired, all that type of good stuff. So it's a great time. I love the playoffs. It's probably my favorite time of the season to be engaging on Twitter.
For sure. You also talked about in your interview with Kenny, like how mental health has become a part of something you have to think about in the social media game. Players have to think about it in their playing careers, but it's kind of become a part of something you have to think about and managing and handling when you're doing social media. So how have you seen that, come to light for you?
I mean, I think, people look at the place I'm in now, my stature now, kind of in the NBA Twitter space, but they don't realize, several years ago, I was just getting bombarded. I was trying to do a bunch of different stuff and testing out different forms of content, material, and everything. And, Twitter's a great place because if you put up a great tweet, obviously people respond right away and your numbers will run up. But it's also a place where if you put up a bad tweet, people will let you know about it. And we live in this kind of trolling, ratio, slander culture where I try to always keep everything respectful no matter who I'm talking about. I keep it strictly basketball related or whatever it may be, never attack people's families, appearances, things like that. Always try to just have a level of respect. But a lot of people in this game, they create these fake accounts with the janky Avies and the 15 numbers at the end of their name and all that good stuff. So they really don't have, they do it in a way where they know they can say whatever they want without being, found out, and they talk a lot differently. So my thing is like, anybody that comes at me, you're talking to Josiah, I'm not hiding in my account, I don't have any burners. Like when you come for me, I'm coming right back at you, and I'm coming from my account, I'm the only person that tweets from my account. But I stress to a lot of people that get in this game, everybody loves and sees like the glory, but they don't see the hard part of it. And that's where the mental health stuff comes in. Like when you put some tweets on, you get ratioed or people clown you or whatever it may be, start attacking you personally and wishing cancer and death on your family and all the other type of stuff that I've seen during my Twittering. That stuff can really take its toll and have a super negative impact on you. And I feel the same way about the players too. Guys like Kevin Love have been super outspoken about just the mental health component. And these guys are human beings. So ultimately, guy has a good game, bad game. And like I said, there's been a lot of times now, Paul George misses those free throws. Everybody's going for him. I'm not really going to go for that one. If it's Giannis though, and we're talking about the count, how long it takes me to shoot a free throw, that's a joke. We can make light of that. That's not as, negative or whatever it may be. So I try to stay on that positive side because I know those guys have feelings too. They have families, they have kids and relatives and people that use these platforms as well. So just have respect. I think that's the most important thing. That's the thing I strive for in the NBA Twitter community is everybody needs to respect each other. Look, I'm a Lakers and LeBron guy. If they're playing the Warriors, we're going to go at each other. But Warriors World, who's a big part of Warriors Twitter and NBA Twitter, me and him are good friends, So when we're not battling, we're laughing and joking and just, really encouraging and inspiring each other because we know how hard this game is to be successful in and to make it. And that's the one thing I really try to impress upon people that try to get into it. It's like, yeah, you see the glory that I have now, but you don't see the years of torment and, the 14 to 18-year-old kids just ripping you to shreds with no mercy, just, ripping your heart out. And that's just a part of the game. But if you can make it through and weather that storm, then you can get to a level where I'm at where, I'm consistently putting out hot content.
You're working with Waves and doing the Out of Pocket show. For those that haven't seen it, why should they tune into that show?
Because it's unlike anything you've ever seen. I think we really strive with that show, me and my co-host, Zach Schwartz, to be as different as possible. We don't want to be a traditional studio show. We want to have great conversations. We want to joke. We want to laugh. We have slander sessions, but these are polite, but at the end of the day, whoever gets it, gets it. If the Lakers lose, then it's time to slander. If the Suns lose, it's time to slander. Whoever gets it. But, we've built up a really, really good core with our commenters and people that follow the show. And we use StreamYard, which is a platform that allows people to comment with us and engage with us. And we're really great about engaging with everybody who watches the show. We'll get people like the Kid Mero come drop by and watch the shows and comment. So it's really kind of like, I don't want to say like an open mic type of thing, but it's really like a situation where you go to a comedy show, whatever it may be, and anybody can be a part of it. I think we really try to do a great job of fostering a community conversation and having something that people look forward to on game nights.
Well, Josiah Johnson, thanks so much for taking the time. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for making us laugh all the time, and appreciate it again, brother.
All right, man, take care.